Hello, hello, hello. Hey, friends. Svava Brooks here. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm a trauma recovery coach, and I love to hang out here on YouTube and Periscope Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I hang out with my fellow survivor thrivers on the healing journey after trauma, abuse, or neglect. As a trauma coach, I have written a couple of workbooks, guides for healing and recovery. And if you'd like to learn more about my work, please visit my website, svavabrooks.com, where you can see what I'm up to through my one-on-one coaching or my group coaching. I'm a huge fan of support groups. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for those support groups that I found and was a part of all those years ago. So I'm glad to be here and to pay it forward. I'm going to set up our conversation here in a little bit. We're going to talk about, yes, thanks, Rob. We're going to talk about gratitude today. Gratitude. So feel free to join the conversation. And also, if you have any comments or questions about recovery, about trauma recovery or healing, or are looking for resources, lots of wonderful, wise people here in this space that are happy to encourage and support and celebrate and share some of the things that have worked for us along the way. And yes, I am a survivor myself of childhood trauma and neglect. And on my, 20-some years of healing, I've learned a few things, and I love to pass on the tools and the things that I've learned along the way, because really it wasn't until I knew quite a bit about trauma, about the impact of trauma, and I knew what had gone wrong, and I knew what was not so good, but how to make that shift, right? How to make that shift to not just surviving, but starting to thrive. That, my friends, is a lifestyle change, really is. And that was, again, why I wrote the books, these 2 books, because these were the resources that I was looking for. Show me the steps to do. I need to know. I was willing and very eager and ready to make that shift. I was tired of living in that autopilot knee-jerk reaction. So, but if you're here live, please say hello. Please let us know that you are here so we can welcome you and celebrate you, and love to hear how you're doing and what's new and good. Let's start there. Hey, Wanda. Hey, Rob. Good to see you guys. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. I appreciate that. I can hear my voice is already a little raspy here today. So we're going to be taking it slow. Thanks, Rob. You're so sweet. But how was your weekend? How's your year going so far? What are you working on? What's the challenge? How can I support you? Hey, Bruce. Hey, friend. How are you doing? Glad you're here. You got mad trauma. Shorty. Story or shorty. So also, let me just say, I have YouTube going live over here and Periscope. I'm doing my best to keep an eye on our chat. So, shorty. Yes, I lost something very important to me. I'm sorry, Bruce. It wrecked your life. I'm so sorry to hear that, Bruce. Very, very sorry. Loss is hard. Be gentle with yourself, my friend. Rob over here. Do I sell help here? No, I don't sell help right here in this space. We're just chatting. I'm happy to support you if you need support, but I believe in peer support. We can help each other out. Humans, the biggest thing that most of us need is just to know that we're not alone, that we are not alone. Well, you do you, my friend Bruce. I understand. No, don't sell drugs. Hey, Denise, how are you doing, my friend? Glad you're here. Rob says he's getting hyped for a USA trip. I want to cross that place on a train and visit tribe members. That sounds amazing. I saw that post on YouTube from you, no, on Facebook, Rob, where you had found a train ride that goes from the East Coast all the way across to the West Coast. That looks amazing. That would be wonderful. And to meet up with some people along the way. How are you doing, Denise? Hey, friend, how are you doing today? Good to see you, but we're going to jump right into the book. We are on what day is today? Today is January 7th. We're on day 7 in the book. But if you're joining us here, don't worry. Each day is independent. And so if you can join the conversation right here, if you want to chime in with your comments, I will set up our conversation and then ask a couple of questions. And feel free to join in or to share. We'd love to hear from you. And quickly, my book is available on Amazon or Kindle if you're looking for a guide to releasing your authentic self, which is pretty much how I see the healing journey unfold for us. So peeling back the layers, all the things that we took on in order to survive, one layer at a time, releasing our authentic selves. So let's see, and you guys have to bear with me today. I'm navigating a couple of different windows on the computer. That's right. It was Sharon who put that up. You've been studying that train ride across the states. Yes, we haven't seen Elizabeth in a little while. Well, if she watches the replay, know that we're thinking of you, and that goes for all of you guys, that you come and hang out with us for a little while. You become a part of the tribe and you are missed. We notice when you are not here, my friends. So thanks, guys. So let me set up our conversation. Day 7. On Sundays, I review all the things that I'm grateful for from the past week. Then for the coming week, I use a visualization to set a loving intention for everything that I need to do that week and for everyone who might cross my path. I know without a doubt, surrounded by love and light, the outcome will be in the highest and best interest for everyone involved. I don't know about you. Do you have a practice like that coming into your week, going into your week? So why is this important for trauma survivors? Why is a practice like this important for us? I shared a little more about this on Facebook earlier. You know, for most of us, if we lived or grew up with dysfunction in our homes or trauma, then our mind and our bodies are hardwired, right, to protect us. They're always, first priority is to keep us safe. And so we have literally been training our biology and our mind to always, right, I don't know about you, but please let me know if you can relate. I'm always on guard. Yes, that's right. Always on guard, like always facing outwards, always like expecting the worst, waiting for the other shoe to fall, and kind of recognizing, and this was me because I felt bad. I thought whatever had happened to my whole childhood was my fault. I thought I was bad. So all I see come out of my eyes, this filter I had put on, that I am bad. Oh, that's all I could focus on, were the things that weren't working, weren't so good. And all of it, of course, reflected back to, I thought I was the source of all of the things that were falling apart or the mistakes. So Denise says, yes, it's so easy to only see the bad. And again, it's important for us to recognize that this is a part of our biology. This is really how we are hardwired, that you're between your brain and your body, your mind doesn't pause to ask, is this, safe, or should we, proceed here? Or like, if your body feels unsafe, it literally will disconnect you and it just takes over, right? We lose connection with our executive functioning, that part of our brain that can analyze the situation. Hey, friend, thanks for asking to join. I'm sorry, I have too many moving parts going on with YouTube and Periscope going on. So thank you for wanting to join the conversation. Feel free to post your question or comment. Thank you. So then, right, it was really helpful for me to understand the reason why I'm like compelled, almost compulsive in this behavior of always being on guard, protecting myself, expecting the worst, was literally my biology, because I've trained my body and my mind to be this way for a few decades, at least 2 decades when I started my journey. No, thanks, friend. So, all right. Kath just joined us. Hello. Yes, we remember you, Kath. She says, I'm really up and awake to be here live, but tonight you are. Hey, friend, are you still in Iceland? I knew you were traveling. Iceland is my home country, born and raised, but I'm coming to you from Portland, Oregon today. But I know Kath was traveling in Iceland. I saw you were in the Blue Lagoon, my friend. That is so fun. I hope you enjoyed your trip. Hope you enjoyed your trip. So, what I was saying, it was helpful to understand why this was hard, that my biology is always focused on the bad. So when someone suggested to me years ago, it's like, when I read about gratitude and mindfulness, it was one of those, I don't know. How do you do that when you've been focusing so intensely on staying safe? I have to do a little monitoring here. Sorry, guys. Hang in there. All right, I'm multitasking. Got it. All right, we're back. So then, practicing gratitude. So the questions today, the 2 questions are, what are 5 things from last week that you are grateful for? And what's your loving intention for this week? So if you didn't share with us in the Facebook group today, I'd love to hear from you. Please post if you can come up with a couple of things at least that you are grateful for from this past week. And what's your loving intention for this coming week? So Wanda shared with us in the group, gave me permission to share her comment with you. So she says, I was grateful to see another decade on last week. Me too, my friend, right? Woohoo, another decade. We did it. She goes on to say, grateful that my commitment to self is even a larger priority than this time last year. That my ability to celebrate without the use of drugs is a reality today. I'm also grateful for my family, for my God's grace of allowing my daughter to see another year. And last but not least, I am grateful for the people in this special tribe. My intention for this week is to continue my structured morning devotions to start each day positively. Beautiful, Wanda. Just beautiful. Beautiful, 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 my friend. And do you notice the difference, Wanda? I'm putting you on the spot. When you start your day in being mindful and in gratitude, do you notice the difference between that and when, sometimes we just, put our feet on the floor and off we go, kind of on autopilot. And then maybe halfway into the day, we're just noticing I don't know about you, but for me, this can be, right? Then I'm chasing my tail, just running from one thing to the next, getting through the to-do list. Yes, I am not as anxious throughout the day. Beautiful, Wanda. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, absolutely. And that's again what humans, especially humans like us that have been through trauma, where we can be naturally anxious because we tend to worry about the outside world, how it's going to impact us. And so we're very much focused on the outside world to stay safe instead of maybe taking the time to recognize how we're doing it on the inside and recognize, is this based on something that is happening right now? Or am I responding because of past history or how I've been trained myself to be for the years? Hey, Austin. Good to see you. I know you said hi, Sarah, but it's Svava. That's close enough. I get called Sarah and Barbara a lot. So glad you're here. And so the other thing that for us who have, tendency to maybe be anxious, it helps us to know what's coming. What are we doing next? So when we take the time to plan our day, to have a schedule or to have a routine, that this, nervous system, this body actually does better when it knows the routine. It's like things calm down. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your question. I think you're asking, what about trauma when splitting up from a spouse? Yes, that can be very traumatic, my friend. That can be traumatic. So I hope you have, So I hope you have support. It's important with any big changes that we're going through. Surround yourself with people that can support you. Don't know how long you've been together with your partner, but it is helpful because any change can feel risky and scary for us. So be gentle with yourself, my friend. Let's see. Wanda says, yes, she already mentioned here, she notices she's not as anxious throughout the day. Good for you, Wanda. Good for you. And that's the other thing about, a gratitude and mindfulness practice is that if we can find a way also to start the day with it, it brings us into the present moment. It brings the awareness to the right here and right now. So then we can lead with that going into our day, instead of, if we just roll out of bed and rush through our day, we are often very much on autopilot, operating from our habits and automatic patterns from the past. So bless you. Let's see here. Rob says, I've been lonely over Christmas, so I'm really grateful for the tribe. Cindy, LD, Wanda, Donna, Sue, our regular contacts that keep me connected. Beautiful, Rob. I am sorry to hear that you were lonely over the holiday season. So I'm glad that you have, the tribe to stay connected, to feel appreciated, to know that you're not alone, my friend. I know holidays are very hard for so many people. You are not alone, my friend. Denise says here, was grateful to see out-of-town family for the holidays. More thankful I have the solitude of my home to return to. Very grateful. Therapy restarted after a 3-week break. I hear you. I hear you. That's great. So you're getting back into routine. And I think that's part of the holidays that we kind of struggle with, right? It's like our routine gets thrown off. And again, just like I come back to talking about what this body likes and our mind, we like structure. We like to know what to expect. We want to know what comes next. So the best we can do to set that up for ourselves, the better we do, and the more productive we are. She says, this week I'm going to try and relax if I can before starting school again next week. I know, sweet lady, you got so much going on, working full time, going to school. You are a Wonder Woman. So please take some good care, time to relax, time to rest in between all those tasks. Rob says, also, I get very sad with the loss of sunlight, and I'm grateful for my hard work in fighting that and accepting the days when I can't fight it. I hear you, Rob. Absolutely hear you. As someone that grew up in Iceland, way up there, right? When during the long winter months, the daylight pretty much, right, is minimal. It is hard. It is hard. So if I can, I'm sure you're doing a beautiful job and know what to do to best support you. And then, yes, when we have those days when it's just, feels very hard and depression can set in, seasonal affective disorder. Yes. Hey, Vincent, how are you? How are you, my friend? So that is a very real thing. So I have some friends in Iceland in the dark, long winter months there that actually get those sunlights, those lamps that are very bright and light up, help them get more exposure to the sun than they would otherwise. So, and I actually really did not realize how it impacted me until I moved away, I happened to go to San Diego to go to college all those years ago. And when I got to wake up in the morning and the sun was up, that was like, wow. And of course, it's the opposite in the summertime, but it was definitely during those long winter months where it was hard. So I hear you, Rob. I hear you, my friend. Absolutely hear you. So, and Denise says that too. Totally get it. I crave the sun. I crave the sun. Vincent says, not bad. I'm in bed, winding down for sleep. All right. Well, I'm glad you're here saying hello. just before bedtime. We have some other people here. I got YouTube going at the same time. There are some people over there here in this space that are in UK, and it's definitely cutting close to bedtime. Sometimes feel bad keeping you up late, Rob and Sue and Kath, a few of our UK people. So, but always glad that you are here. Always glad that you are here. So then the second question was, right, what are you, what's your loving intention for this week? We're on Tuesday. How can you set a loving intention going into this week? I'm asking you guys. I do my best, like I said earlier, do my best since we're all work in progress. We're all humans, right? No one is perfect. No one gets this right every time. Okay. Rob says, I had a super strong coffee and I'm buzzed from the caffeine. All right, I hear you. There are some days where I was like, yeah, sure, I'll have one more cup of coffee. What's a loving intention? Ooh, I like that question, Rob. He asked, what is a loving intention? I like that question. Let me see. Wanda answered that for us already. She says, my intention for this week is to continue my structured morning devotions to start each day positively. So loving intention is, right, you lead with your heart. You lead with love and kindness. And when we start, Rob, you're funny. You thought you were having decaf. Now you're feeling bad that it wasn't decaf. So just an example, I sit with people that have been through trauma. And so before, there you go. Maybe Wanda should share her structured morning devotion practice in the Facebook group. So, but how I structure, leading with loving kindness, with loving intention is that on my days, and I like to prepare for my day the night before, and I look at my calendar, I'll see who I'm meeting with the next day. And as I wind down, thank you, Wanda, for in the evening and prepare, like I said, for my next day, I will sometimes, take a few breaths, drop inside and drop into my heart. This is, where I feel like we are all connected. When we are connected to our own hearts, we can't help but love and celebrate and honor the people in front of us. So when I go into my heart, I will think about the day ahead. I will think about the people I'm going to be seeing, the conversations that we're going to be having. And I imagine and visualize that I'm sitting here listening and I am sending them love. Really wanting them to feel heard, wanting them to feel understood, wanting them to feel supported. Even though some of them tell me about something really hard, a lot of, big hurt happens that is also shared in the conversations with my clients. And a lot of that I can't fix, right? It's in the past. I can't make it go away. But I can support them by just being as present and available as I can. And so because I care about them, feeling that way, feeling heard and supported and understood, I support myself and how the day goes by taking the time to kind of walk through my day through a little meditation or a mindfulness practice where I will intend what's going to happen. And of course, I don't have control of exactly what's going to happen, but I can send love and intention that whatever gets shared and whatever we talk about, that the outcome will be in service of their highest and best good. And on those days where I'm pretty busy or have, a lot of things to do and to take care of, the day goes by way more. It goes smoother. There's a lot more ease in the day. There's a lot more connection in the day. And I think there's a deeper connection and deeper healing taking place as a result of that. So that's just an example of like when I'm working, with my clients, helping people recover from trauma. But the same thing I do when I'm going about running errands, when I'm out in the world. As you guys know, I often carry those little glass hearts with me in my purse. And so when I go to the grocery store, I always make an intention of, talking to the person in front of me, acknowledging the human in front of me, how they're helping me. I ask them about their day. I'm grateful for how they're helping me, whether it's with my groceries or at my bank or my chiropractor, my doctor, or even when I'm on the phone setting appointments or asking for technical assistance. I lead with loving kindness and loving intention through all my interactions with humans, with all people, because I want to treat all people the way I want to be treated. So was that helpful, Rob? Giving you some suggestions, some insight into what that may look like? So I'm going to catch up on here on the chat a little bit. See here, Kath says, and to my Periscope friends, I'm looking at the chat stream here on YouTube. Kath says, so grateful for our Iceland trip and my precious time with husband and daughter. My intention is to appreciate more the gift I have in my family and the love they give me and to tell them so. Beautiful, Kath. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love it. I'm so glad to hear you had a good time in Iceland. Of course, I knew you would. I was thinking about you because I talked to some family members last week or these last few days, and I heard the weather was a little tough back there, but it looked like you made the most of it. So, but yes, to take a minute to appreciate gratitude to our friends and to our family and the people closest to us, sometimes the people that may sometimes feel like we take them for granted, right? But just to pause and say extra thank you and say something more about why we appreciate them, not just because of the things that they do for us, but that they in our lives and how they contribute and how they make us feel and what do we notice about them. So I started doing this with my kids when they were younger in high school, especially, right? High school is brutal for most of us. High school was hard for me too. But I would often stop my kids when I would hear that they were being hard on themselves and say, do you need me to remind you how wonderful you are? It's like when that inner critic and they're, judging themselves or comparing themselves and never feeling like they're good enough, right? Then I would say, hey, do you need to be reminded of how wonderful you are? And sometimes they'd say yes. And sometimes, no, Mom, it's okay. It's like, well, I'm here anytime you need to be reminded, right? So my girls, I think, were more open to this. So my son is a little more, mom, you're just my mom. You just say that because you're my mom. And I'm like, no, I really mean it. And I would say it anyways, because over time, I know he heard it. I know it started sinking in. So, hey, friend, thanks for wanting to join the conversation here on Periscope. I'm sorry, I'm not taking on any live chat or video chat because I have my hands full with 2 live streams going on. But thank you for being here. And I'd love if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to join in. Let's see here. Scrolling down the comments here. Rob says, my loving intention is to find a swimming pool and gently tell my anxiety and increasing waistline to duck off. Does that work? Well, I like your loving intention, but I would also like to suggest that you be kinder to your body, right? Your body just does what your body does. And if we don't move it, our body, does what it does. It gets stiff, right? It may put on weight. So, and he says, I'm terrified of going public swimming baths, but I really think it's a great way to relax and exercise. Yes, it is, Rob. And just a little secret, Rob, just a little secret. I don't think anybody knows this. I'm joking. Everybody else in that pool feels a little anxious about being there as well. So in this world where we are way too focused on appearances or that we have to look a certain way to be worthy or valuable or good enough. So trust me, my friend, if you can remind yourself why you're doing this, why you're there, and think about you're not the only person in the pool who feels the same way. So, but since it's good for you and you want to take care of your body, do something healthy and relaxing for you, I love the challenge. I think you should definitely take on this challenge. So, yeah, right. Isn't it interesting, Rob, that we so often think, and that's our inner critic, that's our trauma brain in action when it goes into, we think we're the only one. We think we're the only one this is happening to. We think that we're the only one who can't figure this out. Oh my goodness. For so many years, I used to think that I was the only one who was broken and stupid because of my trauma. Simply not true. And I'm here and glad to remind you as often you need to hear that and to be reminded. So Kath says, we're going back. We were snowed in one day. Yes. I do remember. I saw some friends were talking about things were shut down. See, Kath, thank you. She's chiming in. That is so true, Svava. I was worried about getting in the Blue Lagoon, but I did it. You can do it too, Rob. Yes. Yes. And if you visited any of the public pools, Kath, in Iceland, which I love to do anytime I'm there, people in all shapes and sizes are in the swimming pools, and they're just going there every day because it is an amazing luxury in Iceland to have all that abundant hot water. So it's silly not to go take advantage of it. So it's awesome. So glad that you went to visit, and I'm excited to hear you're going to go back. So let's see here. Denise says, we are hoping to get snowed in while in Illinois, but no luck. Isn't it funny, right? Those who do get snowed in don't want it, and the ones the other way, right? So humans, we're typical, right? Rob says, I love the encouragement. You just validated what Svava said. I'm listening and learning from Kath and Svava. That's it. That's it, my friends. It's always here in our shared space that we learn together, that we learn together. So my other question that I was going to add, when you write a list of things that you are grateful for, so that's my challenge to all of you guys moving forward, to start a practice of regular gratitude practice. Even if you just in the morning, starting your day, one thing that you're grateful for. And as you continue maybe to have a gratitude journal or something that a place where you can write down your daily gratitude, see how it grows. And I also want you to pay attention to and notice, don't forget, right, to write yourself. Do you put yourself down as some of the things that you are grateful for? I think that was one of the moments where I noticed some shifts started to happen for me, because I used to start with being grateful for the things around me. And then more and more, I was like, hey, wait a minute. I'm grateful for me. And I'm actually grateful for this body, because gratitude, feeling grateful, is actually an experience that is felt in the body. This may start off as a mental exercise, but the more we do it, the more we are practicing coming into the present moment, because gratitude asks us to come right here, right now. What am I grateful for? Yes, I may start with my surroundings, the things around me, my things, my people, my experiences, but slowly, more and more of what I'm grateful for is me. And the more I'm grateful for me, and this isn't selfish at all, this is more just being accepting of who I am, accepting of myself, no matter what I've been through, no matter how hard things have been and how hard things can get, I can still, right here in this moment, as I come to my body, where all my history, my life history lives in this body, in this moment, I can feel grateful for my capacity to keep going, for the wisdom that I've gained along the way, what I've learned. And just saying that, I can feel my heart feels warm. So just as our nervous system, our biology is hardwired to protect us, to keep us safe, to immediately disconnect you from your body, from pain, if it gets too much, if it's too overwhelming, that same nervous system that so brilliantly, right, can do things on autopilot without you needing to lay down the next steps, that part of you is also hardwired to feeling empathy, kindness, and compassion. So wherever you are on your journey, taking a moment to feel grateful, to practice a little bit of gratitude, is very powerful, because it trains us again and again to come right here, right now. Yes, things may not be perfect, right? We look around in our world right now. Oof, right? And for so many of us, empaths who feel deeply, who are highly sensitive and intuitive, we feel the world right now so greatly, so much pain, so much anguish. But how do we serve people, others? By starting with ourselves, by taking care of ourselves, by being grateful for who we are here now. And I was just looking through some quotes earlier, and I want to share them with you. This is Pema Chodron. I don't know how you guys pronounce her name, but she says here in this quote, "It is also helpful to realize that this very body that we have, that's sitting right here, right now, with its aches and its pleasures, is exactly what we need to be fully human, fully awake, fully alive." So I want to encourage you all, right, to explore being grateful for your bodies and starting to practice a gratitude practice, because it brings us into the present moment, focusing on the here and then now, which again is an ongoing lifelong practice when we have been trained for decades to keep ourselves safe in the past, living out of that traumatic experience, that the tension and the memories and the beliefs and the thoughts and the stories that are still being perhaps recycled inside of us. When we come into the present moment, and as they come up for us, then we can assess, wait a minute, this is a story from the past. Yes, it can be hard. Yes, it was hard. But I learned to be that way. I learned to believe this about myself because of the past. But I'm here now. I am different now. My circumstances have changed now. And I'm going to be grateful for me and where I've been and what I'm going through, to create a more hopeful tomorrow instead of just moving the past right on into tomorrow. Denise, thank you so much, sweet friend, for asking. She says, not real sure if I'm hardwired to feel the lighter side of emotions. To be honest, I'm trying, but it just doesn't come. I hear you, Denise. I hear you, my friend. It's one of those things that we cannot order up. We cannot force. We cannot push. We cannot demand or conjure. It is one of those organic processes that happen on your time when you're ready. So I know you're doing everything that you can, and keep doing that. Keep doing that. And you will, my friend, you will get there, if I can say that. You will have that experience. I can still remember, Denise, one day after, oh my gosh, so many, many, many years of healing. And I think for me, what helped a lot was meditation and mindfulness, and some of the things that I'm suggesting for you here, because I didn't realize how much, again, I was either focused on the past or worried about the future. I felt helpless, powerless over the past and really bad, but only the future. Yes, but it was this, it can be a very subtle thing, but then it also, you may have experiences where it's like, oh my God, this, I actually think this is what they talk about when they say joy, right? And when I had that experience, Denise, I was a little startled by it. It's like, oh my God, this feels so good. And I was so light and so hopeful. I actually drove home and called my friend. And this is like, I was almost scared about who I shared it with. And I called a friend. It's like, you know what? I'm having this experience. This is what happened. And I can't quite put my finger on it. I think this is the first time I've felt so like really elated. And it happened, and the experience was big enough in a way that it stuck with me, and I captured it, that I wanted to embody it. I wanted to talk about it with someone else because I wanted to be able to reflect on it. And that's the other thing, Denise. Those moments could be happening, but sometimes they're so tiny and fleeting that we may not catch them because we're so focused on what's not okay. And that's often, life has a little bit of both. But when we're hardwired just to focus on our inner pain or struggle or what's going wrong in our lives, we will overlook all the things that maybe are working, that could be bringing joy into your life. So, and that's where I think support groups, yes, where we come together because we are sharing our healing journey and we talk about our hard feelings and, the process, and which can be frustrating and aggravating and painful at times. But it's also a place where we get to share our wins when we feel that joy. Because in the beginning, I was just as embarrassed of sharing my happiness, like my excitement. Like for some reason, I wasn't allowed to share either. Like they both had to be kept a secret. So I hear you, Denise. Again, I'm not sharing this and I hope you're not feeling bad, right? But I hear you say that you maybe struggle with trusting that, is it going to come? Is it going to come for me? Is it going to happen for me? I would invite you to challenge any thoughts or beliefs that, oh, it only works for other people, because that was also one of my beliefs. That other people, yeah, this maybe can work for you, but I don't think it's going to work for me. But I was willing to consider the possibility that my body works the same way as all these other bodies. And if I kept, processing, learning to express my feelings, right, doing all the things that I needed to do to heal, that I too, this body would also have the capacity to feel peace, joy, gratitude, happiness, right? And again, like they say, about our nervous system, when we use a path in our nervous system so much, we lay it down. Instead of it just being this one little connection in our brain, we've created like a 5-lane freeway. It's been used so much and it fires fast and easy. So the other one that we're trying to create, a connection between your mind and your body, where it's like, no, I'm feeling peaceful. This feels peaceful. This feels like joy. And often when we started to feel those feelings, we're like, oh, shoot, it's just a matter of time before things are going to fall apart again. Or when is the other shoe going to fall, right? We need to focus on training, laying down another 5-lane freeway for the good stuff. But here's the thing, right? Neuroplasticity. There you go. Thank you, Rob. Exactly. We can change our wiring. So choosing some of these practices that feel maybe hokey in the beginning, it's like, this is hooey wooey stuff. This does not work for me. No, it actually can and will We just have to keep going, and we have to keep going long enough for it to work for us too. So I hope that was helpful. And the one thing here I wanted to share with you. Yes, exactly. That's Caitlin. Quote on meditation. Like I said, I'm a big advocate of meditation. I meditate almost every day myself. Some form of meditation or energy work. It's been a very important part of my healing journey. So, quote here: meditation is the only intentional, systematic human activity which at bottom is about not trying to improve yourself or get anywhere else, but simply to realize where you already are. Right? And just practicing that present moment awareness. Setting a timer for 1 minute. I'm just going to sit here, close my eyes, take a couple deep breaths, feel my feet on the ground. Right? Bring your awareness to sensations, your whole body. And maybe do a quick, a body scan. You can do a body scan in 1 minute. You can do it in 15 minutes. Just kind of go through and notice what's going on inside my head. What's going on inside my torso? What's going on inside my arms? Just noticing the sensations. What's going on in my legs? What's going on in my knees? What's going on in my feet? Just notice. Not trying to change, push, resist, control. Just noticing. Just breathing in, just breathing out. Something that our bodies, right, does automatically. Just learning to be present with ourselves helps us to retrain our mind from the focus on the past or worry about the future to right here, right now. This is the only place we can feel peace. We can feel joy. And this is the place where we can make changes. We can make choices. We can intervene on those automatic cycles, those automatic patterns. So, my friends, assignment moving forward, maybe tonight, take a look at your schedule for tomorrow. What are you doing tomorrow? I have a few patterns to change. I hear you, my friend. Thank you for sharing. Most of us do. Most of us do. So also recommendation, just take one at a time, right? Just start with one, try to change one thing at a time. Because we take on too much, it just all crumbles in on itself in many ways. But just take a minute this evening, look at your schedule for tomorrow. What do you got going on tomorrow? Who are you seeing? Where are you going? What's your schedule like? And how can you just walk yourself through the day tomorrow? See yourself meeting the people you need to meet with. See yourself connecting with those people. And you're connecting with them from the heart. You have a smile on your face. All those meetings are going to go well. These people are happy to see you. They're grateful for you. You had to run some errands. The traffic was smooth, right? There was no lines wherever you went. All the lines showed up behind you. And things that you thought were going to be complicated or hard or upsetting, it actually got resolved pretty simply. And just see yourself go through the day and feel grateful. Feel grateful for you, for yourself, your family, your friends, your community, your resources. And just notice how that can make a difference for you. At the end of tomorrow, make a note of it. What difference did it make? So as we wrap up here today, my friends, I know, thank you for asking. How do you heal after World War III? Because shit just hit the fan in Iraq. I'm so sorry. I really wish I could do or say something about that, but I think we need to do the best we can to take care of ourselves and our fellow human beings. So another person here says, it takes bravery for me to get up and to go. Some days I have to work at building up to that bravery. I hear you, my friend. And practice some self-compassion, my friend, because, right, it's better when we can acknowledge that we're having a hard day instead of beating ourselves up for having a hard day. That's what we tend to do. We tend to be hard on ourselves when things are hard. But it's exactly when things are hard that we need to be gentle and loving and compassionate with ourselves. Hey, George, thanks for wanting to jump on video, but I got YouTube going here as well. So too many moving parts, but I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here. So yes, some days, just to remind ourselves, we live in this body, right, that has this full range of possibility of emotions, right? And sometimes these emotions that we're feeling are not fun or pretty. And on those days, how can we comfort ourselves? How can we reach out to others? How can we, ask for support? Because it is easier when we know we're not alone. And the truth is, we are not alone. We share this globe, this planet, this beautiful planet with many, many millions of other humans. So the card that I drew for us today, always perfect. What's this video stuff? Rob, people on Periscope can now ask to join a chat and they can come on camera with me. So Periscope has changed a little bit over the last couple of years. So the card, one day she decided or he decided to plant a garden of her or his own, and it bloomed. So I think this is a perfect reminder. We were talking about gratitude. Gratitude is like a garden. You start with one thing that you're grateful for, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. And then these things, these gratitude seeds start to bloom. So, don't know if you needed this reminder, but here you go, my friends. So with that, I want to thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for commenting and sharing. Thank you, Kath, for sharing your journey to Iceland with us. I'm so glad that you had a good time. Always makes my heart sing when I see people visit my home country, of course. You're welcome, Denise. I'm glad you're here. Keep going, my friend. You're doing a beautiful job. You're doing a beautiful job. And lastly, anyone that joined us late, if you're interested in learning more about coaching, trauma coaching, or looking for resources, please visit my website, svavabrooks.com, and or you can purchase my healing guide on Amazon and or Kindle. And again, I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I appreciate all the hearts over here on Periscope. And on YouTube, I appreciate the thumbs up, the likes. And if this inspired you and supported you in any way, thank you so much. And please share with any other survivors that you think might be looking for some support. Thanks, friends. Have a beautiful week. And I will see you back here on Thursday. Until then, have a beautiful week. Have a beautiful week, my friends. Bye now.